Alright, so we're just getting packed up right before the trip. So essentially I'm going to be spending one night out in the backcountry. I'm going to be going up into the Alpine, camping up top. That's something new for me. I haven't camped out in the Alpine before. Weather looks good. It's supposed to be warming up overnight. So the gear that I have should be more than adequate. Like I could probably have slept out into negative 25 degrees, and it's supposed to be about negative 15 at night. So we'll see how that goes. So I've already packed up a couple of things. First and foremost, I've got my MSR camp stove fuel. I've got my rain jacket, and then also a small shovel. Got just foam pad so that if my sleeping pad does get a hole in it and then it isn't working anymore, I can quickly use this. I probably won't freeze to death. I've also got my tent poles right here, so I'm going with my 3-person tent, just to give myself a little bit more space. And I also didn't want to have my trekking pole tent. I just thought that it would be a little bit more risky since it might be a little bit windier, even though I did check the wind and it should be pretty calm today and tomorrow. Other than that, I've got inside at the bottom stored, I've got my sleeping pad and the rest of my tent. So the tent floor and then also the rain cover. So in the winter, you don't really have to have the inner mesh of the tent, just because there are no bugs. So it's something you can remove and save a ton of weight. So next, we're just gonna grab just a regular plastic bag. We're just gonna line the inside. So this is just gonna prevent any moisture getting onto my sleeping bag and any of my gear. So you're gonna put this inside. Oh, and with my sleeping pad, I do have a camp pillow, so that'll be really nice to sleep on. So, first thing that we're going to put in is just going to be my sleeping bag. So, got this just past year. It's a negative 30 bag. It's the Eddie Bauer Karakoram. I got it for a great price. It was $500. There's tons of, I believe, 850 fill power down. This kept me warm at negative 25. So I'd be pretty good if I was down to negative 30, maybe even a little lower. Yeah, so we're just going to toss this inside first. You would be surprised at how small this thing's actually. Alright, so we got that in. Next up, we've got all of my electronics. So, brought a little creature comfort, so I have some heated socks, so these are battery packs for that. My lantern, so this is a kind of a lantern, which also doubles as a battery pack, just in case my main power bank fails. So there's kind of redundancy, and then I just got my headlamp, which should be good for 4 hours. The lantern should last about 20 hours. And the power bank should be good to charge my phone about 5 to 6 times. So we're just going to toss this up top. So, in terms of clothing, I'm going to be wearing all of what I have to sleep. I also have just my regular fleece. I'm going to be using these gloves, my second pair of thinner gloves just while I'm hiking, and then just a buff while I'm sleeping, and also a toque, which I'll go grab in a second. So, I'm just going to toss all of this stuff right inside. We're just gonna stuff it right beside on the inside of the backpack. And this one I'll actually be wearing and same with the thinner gloves, so I'll leave those out. Yep. Toiletries, so just toothpaste, toothbrush, anything else I'll need. So we're just gonna toss this on the inside. The pack, I also have my first aid kit already pre-packed inside. Right here, so just got my gaiters. So this is just going to be something nice to have, just so I'm not getting my pants super wet, since I won't be having a second pair of pants. So I wasn't really worried, we're only out for one night, so, and it's not very cold, so even if my pants do get wet, shouldn't be much to worry about. Alright, and in terms of jacket, this is my down jacket, so this is just for when I'm at camp, being pretty static, maybe just cooking, relaxing around camp. This is the Rad Mythic G Ultra. I've had this out in about -20, -25 degrees temperatures. It works perfectly fine with base layer, mid layer, and this. So I'm pretty confident about this. I did get a small hole, which I patched up with some clear hockey tape, and honestly it's done a pretty good job. So I'm just going to toss this inside. And right over here we've just got another GoPro battery, and then obviously I'm recording right now, so this will go inside my pocket. So there's anything I would like to keep warm, I'm going to be keeping in here. One thing, we aren't bringing water filter, we're going to be in the Alpine, so we're going to be melting snow. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, other than a couple of cords here and there's a couple of smaller items. But my breakfast has already been packed inside the cook kit, which is right here. So cook kit, so I got my MSR stove and my pot. My breakfast is inside here, and then I'm just gonna grab my lunch and put that inside. So this is just gonna go right up top. And there are a couple things that are missing from the pack, so like water bottles. Gonna be bringing my micro spikes. Where we're going, won't need any snowshoes. It's pretty packed down snow, pretty well packed down trail. So we're just gonna have the micro spikes and then anything that I'll be wearing. Yeah, so we'll see you out in the trail. Alright, so we got to the parking lot, got all my gear on. Gonna start heading up Wasuch Ridge. We're just gonna see how far we can get in about an hour. Then we'll set up camp. Sunset is about 6 o'clock, so we'll probably be 6:30, it'll get super dark. And yeah, it'll be a fun little trip. Okay, so been about 1 kilometer. There's a lot more snow cover than I anticipated. So I don't know how far I'll get before the sun sets. It's quite a bit windier than the forecast had said, so I'm gonna have to choose our campsite carefully, but overall it's not bad so far. The pack is pretty heavy though, but we'll see you later. Alright, so hasn't gone as planned. Sun just set. I was trying to sit up top, but it was just way too windy. The forecast just did not work out in my favor. It said top of the ridge about 5 to 10 kilometers sustained wind, 15 kilometer an hour gusts, but quite windy. So I just dropped below Alpine, and which is really only like 20 meters below where I was, but a lot more cover. So I'm just gonna set up here for the night, which is disappointing because I really wanted to set up to see the sunset, but I can just hike up tomorrow morning and at least still have a tent by tomorrow. The stakes really just weren't going in, so I'd rather set up where it's not a huge deal if I don't stake it out. Alright everyone, we had to switch campsites obviously, but the campsite I chose looks pretty good. I was able to stake it down. Looks like we're not moving anywhere. Just making up dinner. Things haven't gone as planned so far, but that's why I am very close to the car. So if I have to make a getaway, if I have to call for an emergency, I've got my satellite messenger and I'm not too far from civilization. So yeah, but I really wanted to go to the Alpine and just experience what it is like camping in the Alpine in the winter. But so far it's quite difficult. Camp selection is imperative. Making sure you have enough ground cover, making sure you're able to stake down your tent. But right now we're just heating up some water, and then I'm gonna toss my I made some chicken chili for dinner, and I had it for lunch as well. I'm gonna have that. It's gonna be a nice nice little dinner. And then I also brought some snacks, some fruit snacks and stuff like that. And then as far as stashing my food, I was expecting to go higher into the Alpine, but because we didn't, I am going to have to find somewhere to stash my food. So that'll be the second thing we got to do, and then after that we can kind of relax for the night and kind of be a little bit more worry-free until tomorrow morning, and then just mostly eating breakfast and then packing up and then heading back out to the car. All right everyone, so already got everything set up, so just gonna relax for the night. So I got the sleeping pad all puffed up so it's nice and warm. Sleeping pad is all good, tent's all staked out, and I was able to find somewhere to stash my food, so pretty good. I downloaded some shows and I brought my iPad to catch up on a little bit of show watching. It was really stressful, probably last hour and a half, trying to get this tent up. Putting the tent up, that section just not being good, where I was setting up initially, and then having to find an emergency spot down here, which I had a couple emergency spots on my way up, but because it was so close, I didn't really think to have an emergency spot nearby, so that was pretty stressful, but this worked out fine. So I should be good for the rest of the night. Tomorrow morning I'm supposed to make breakfast. We'll see if I get to making breakfast. I might hike out back to the car, just because it takes a long time for my water to boil just to melt snow, right? So I don't want to be wasting a bunch of time when I can just get back to the car in a little over an hour and then just cook there if I have to, or head back home. So just gonna do some setting up. See you in a bit. So brought the iPad out. We're just gonna watch some of Squid Game Season 2. If you haven't watched Squid Game Season 2, all my friends have been bringing it up, and they can't talk about it because I haven't watched it. So we're just gonna watch a few episodes and then probably head to bed. Alright everyone, it's 11 p.m. I'm just finishing up my last episode and then I'm gonna head to bed. Hoping to wake up at 7, sunrise at 7:40. I'm gonna guess it'll be about 7:30 once it starts to rise, so I'm gonna hopefully be up for that. The wind has calmed down a little bit. Hopefully it calms down even more throughout the night, but yeah, doing pretty good. Nice and toasty. Had to vent out the sleeping bag a little, but overall feeling pretty good. We'll see you all in the morning. Alright, so just 10-15 minutes before sunrise. Food and everything is fine. I slept fine. Got a decent amount of sleep. I think 7 hours of sleep. Woke up a few times throughout the night, but overall not bad. And it was super warm last night. Had to pretty much almost fully open my sleeping bag. And yeah, so we'll just cook up some breakfast and watch the sunrise. Alright, so finished up breakfast, packed everything up. As I was making breakfast, I was just packing up the campsite, and then yeah, so it's about a little past 9:50. Just gonna take about an hour, probably less than an hour, to get back to the car. So yeah, feeling pretty good. But we'll see you back on the trail.
I spend my whole life moving. I spend my whole life on the road. From a dream I'm waking up, and for the first time I'm terrified of waking up within the shade of my delusion. I drive into the night, I drive into a life that I deemed worth living all my life.
Alright, so we're back at the car. It was an interesting trip. There's a lot of things I didn't go as planned, but it's a lot of fun and I learned a lot over this trip. Hopefully I'll be able to get out during the winter a few more times, and then we'll have the summer backpacking season, which I'm excited for. But see you next time.